So in this drawstring bag, there's notches that are cut on all 4 edges here, the ends. All right, so this is what we do. You set up your notches here. Make them so that they, all right, so what we're doing is we're putting our notches together. See our notches, they're lined up perfectly. And we'll do a 1/2 inch seam here, starting at that notch. And then when we start to sew, we're going to back tack to make it nice and firm. And sew to the end of the seam. And we're again going to back tack. Trim all our stitching to keep everything nice and neat. Okay, so we've got our notches. Some of the problems with doing this is that people, we have all sorts of different people cutting these. Lining up my notches, back tacking, back tacking again. You want everything to stay nice and firm so it doesn't fall apart. We say that this whole kit will last you from 3 to 5 years if you treat it carefully. But if it's not sewn well, it's also going to fall apart. So you have to make sure to back tack and to be really careful with the stitching. So here's where I've stitched it up to that notch. I'm going to fold this back with my finger, just make those sides the same. So that's the same as your seam allowance. I'll put it back in here and stitch right on the edge. What I do is I stitch right into the seam here and raise my foot, pivot it around, lower my foot again, see, so you get that nice and neat. Do the same thing on the other side. This part you don't have to back tack because you're going to fold the top down, so you don't need to worry about that stitch up here. Now I'm going to fold the top over 1/4 inch. Let me do this side, sorry. Like that. And then again, right to where that notch is. So here's something that people do often. They don't do 1/4 inch, they go like that. And then they fold it over again. And what happens is if you don't leave that opening as big as it's supposed to be, it's hard to get the drawstring through. So 1/4 inch there, and then down to this. So you're leaving a nice wide casing. And you stitch right on the edge. Come on, sewing machine. And you it all nice and even so that your casing is the same all the way across. If you feel like it's hard to do, then use an iron and iron it and use a ruler. Back tack. I like to just continue here, but you can actually take it out from underneath your foot if you want to. Back tack. Wasn't cut. Clean up all the threads and turn the whole thing. I use a knitting needle to just gently pull the corners out so it's nice and neat. Now we want to put the drawstrings in. So you're going to go from one side through with this loop turner. There's a little hook on the end, so you hook it here. And you have to hook up far enough. If you hook way down towards the bottom, all the threads will just come unwoven and it won't hold. Alright, and then you just pull that through. And then you go into the other side. Oh, I lost it. That'll happen. So you have to just try to grab it again. Come on. Okay. We want to tie a knot on the end. And that knot needs to be as close to the end as you can get it. And the reason for that is you want to be able to open this bag as far as possible. If you tie the knot in here, then you're not going to be able to open it. It's going to be hard to get your hand in there to get the pad out. So you want that as close as you can. Then you go to the side that doesn't have the knot. And you put your turner in there. Pull it through. You tie that knot, again, as close to the end as you can get it. So there, now it opens really far, and you pull the two sides, and there's your drawstring bag, just like